My wife cheated on me with a sailor. I made her pay for it. I was born and raised in a small coastal town. It was a lovely place to live, but I always felt there was something missing, like a piece of a puzzle that didn't quite fit. The turning point came when I met the love of my life, Diana. She was a marine biologist who'd come to our town to study the local dolphin population. We fell head over heels in love and soon after got married. Diana was everything to me. She was my best friend, my confidant, and the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. We had a perfect life together in our little coastal town. However, after a few years of marriage, I started feeling a bit restless. I felt like our town was too small for me, and I wanted more from life, more excitement, more challenges. But mostly, I wanted more from Diana. I wanted her to be more affectionate, more intimate. But Diana was content with our quiet life. She loved our town and her work, and she was happy with me. Or so I thought. One day while I was out at sea, I saw the most beautiful creature I'd ever seen, a mermaid. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. But as I approached, I realized it was no illusion. She was real. And not only that, but she was also incredibly beautiful. I couldn't help myself. I dove into the water and swam towards her. As we swam closer, I could see that she was even more beautiful up close. Her skin was the color of moonlight, and her eyes were like pools of liquid silver. I couldn't believe my luck. The most beautiful creature in the world was swimming towards me. But then she spoke, and her voice was like nails on a chalkboard. "Get away from me, you filthy human!" she screeched. "I am a mermaid, and I do not want your kind to touch me." I was taken aback by her ferocity. I tried to explain that I wasn't trying to hurt her, but she wouldn't hear it. She turned and fled, disappearing into the depths. I was heartbroken. I had never been rejected like that before. But I was determined to win her over. Every day, I would go out to sea and swim around, looking for her. I would call out to her, hoping that she would forgive me, but she never appeared. I began to lose hope. Then one day, I saw her. She was on land, sunbathing on a rock. I was so happy that I didn't care about the rejection I'd suffered before. I ran to her and introduced myself. Finally, she agreed to talk to me, and she told me her name. She was beautiful, mysterious, and alluring. Everything I'd ever wanted in a woman. We fell in love and soon began living together in a cave by the sea. Meanwhile, Diana was growing more and more distant. She spent less and less time with me and eventually moved out. She said she needed her own space, but I knew the truth. She was in love with someone else. I was devastated, but I knew I had to let her go. One day, I saw Diana with another man. They were kissing and hugging. I couldn't take it anymore. I confronted them and they admitted that they were in love. They said they were going to run away together. That was when I snapped. I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was that I hated the other man. The next day, I left town. I didn't know where I was going, but I didn't care. I just needed to get away. I ended up in a big city and started a new life. I worked hard, partied hard, and generally lived life to the fullest. I was having the time of my life. Then I got a call from my sister. She told me that Diana had been in an accident. She'd been found dead in her apartment. The police were investigating, but they weren't sure what had happened. I was shocked. I couldn't believe that Diana was dead. I immediately took the next train home. When I arrived, the police had already finished their investigation. They'd ruled Diana's death as an accident. Apparently, she'd slipped on some seaweed and hit her head on the floor. I knew it wasn't an accident. I knew someone had killed Diana, and I suspected the sailor, the only person who could have killed her. I went to his house, but he wasn't there. His wife told me that he'd gone out to sea and would be back for a few days. I waited, and when he returned, I confronted him. He denied killing Diana, but I knew he was lying. I challenged him to a fight, but he refused to fight me. He was a coward. That's when I decided to take my revenge. I waited until he went out to sea, and then I stole his boat. I took it out into the middle of the ocean, and then I blew it up with dynamite. The explosion was huge and I could see the sailor struggling in the water. I didn't stop to help him. I just kept blowing him up again and again and again, until his body was nothing but chum. I knew he deserved it. He'd stolen my wife, and I was taking my revenge. Now, some people might say that I'm crazy, that I should have let it go, but I don't regret anything. Diana was my wife, and I loved her. When she died, a part of me died, too. And if I hadn't taken my revenge, I don't think I would have ever been able to move on.